Twitch and on YouTube. Welcome. We're gonna get some midweek madness going. In the background, we're getting caught up to real time as we'll have Viper versus Barles. It's arena, so we didn't miss anything in the Dark Age. Maybe a good old funnel. Ooh, no, Viper's gonna do the pasture chicken technique. The pasture is a farm, so when you swap the vills from the chicken to be a pasture farmer, it takes a bit of micro, but they'll auto drop off their food at the pasture. A bit awkward, but gets the job done. And let's see, I should probably make a Discord post that I'm live. So welcome everyone. And hello Anthony, how you doing? Discord post that we're live. I think I've clicked all my buttons between the games. I'll need to get the drafts. I also need to make sure that I grab more water at some point, but we're good for now. Alright, and let's just make sure I can see both of my chats. Hopefully we get the ads out of the way on Twitch in just a moment. So we shall have a barracks here for Viper as the Khitans up to feudal. Looks like he might be going for scouts or skirmishers then. Barles here will be the Burgundians. So Burgundians, Khitans. We've been seeing Viper use the Khitans on arena. Or at least we saw him in that set against, was it against Niaz in Sudden Disaster? Where he tried to just use the pastures for economy, as they are an insane economy. And roar! Hello, Sir Baron. How are you doing? And Anthony, you've acquired 2 felines in your leave. One is currently sprinting all around. Hope you mean house cats and not lions. It would be horrible if a lion were sprinting all around. Don't want those on the loose. So Viper did the pastures for the chickens. Rawr, hello Baron. We probably had an ad. Hello, hello, hello. How you doing? Hope you're having a lovely morning. Look at these houses from Barles nestled in his wood line. Eventually, Ville's gonna have trouble pathing around there, but so far it's minimizing the walking time. He's not putting up around his walls either, so it'll be stable versus stable and barracks. Very standard arena things. Feel like you've been seeing Midweek Madness for the past 3 midweeks. It has been going on for the past few midweeks. It wasn't last week, but 2 weeks before that. I think Danny's trying to do 3 per month. Had fun casting with her yesterday. How many sets are today? 3. We have 2 semifinals and the finals. Semifinals are best of 3, finals are best of 5. So at most 11 games. Not the most jam-packed thing, but we'll also try to cast some hyper random outside of this if we don't fill the entire day. Might be a bit of a long stream today. Yeah, Scout gets in the gate, but then we'll run right back out. And hello, my Xeno side on YouTube. How you doing? Oh, Viper goes for the wolf. Your Magyars lions are of no concern. Alright, so Viper, now that he's up to the castle age, will immediately be doing the monastery. And I'll have a TC up for Barles too. So Barles going for the TC approach and husbandry. Husbandry first rather than light cav to get the speed boost. Viper going for light cav. And Viper has not done any of the blacksmith attack upgrades yet, but that could be nice if he's going for the light cav spear combo. Both of them will benefit from the double attack upgrades. Oh, he's doing a fire lancer. He's doing a fire lancer rather than a spear. Okay, and sending a Vil forward. Vil will take the foxes. You can no longer push the foxes. So the Vil is just going to take them. We'll get 31 gold from each. How's the face? Are you asking why I'm not using webcam today? It's because I literally rolled out of bed and started casting this today. At some point I might have to hop away to grab breakfast in between games. So monks, fire lancers, Vils, light cav. All forward for Viper. That Vil does not even have loom. Could be dangerous should Barles manage to snipe her off. Barles has light cav now. But Viper will be going first for the relic in the middle of the map, and all the other relics appear to the northeast. Viper has one more near his base he should be able to get pretty easily, and that should be a good relic advantage for him. Fire Lancers using their attack, and will go down. Bring back the mid-century math professor to us bow tie look. I was gonna do that for the land that was unannounced, but that has apparently been cancelled. So maybe we'll just have to do that ourselves someday. And not the Chinese land, the December land. As it is, Vil goes down, but at the cost of a couple of scouts, and Fire Lancer should be good against the pikemen. So something I hadn't thought of, Fire Lancer versus pikemen when in the Relic War. Should be quite potent against light cav with their ranged attack even. And then should beat the pikemen. And beat them quite handily. What's that, 55 HP and 4 attack to 11 attack and 65 HP? So yeah, go Fire Lancer and it doesn't cost food. And Chinese land is still on. Nothing affecting that. Actually, Fire Lancers with a ranged attack could snipe the healing monk over walls. Maybe the Khitans are atop arena civ now. Look at this economy. He's keeping pace with the Burgundians, which are a great booming civ. Just now getting his second TC though. Barles has been 3 TC booming behind this, so he is definitely ahead in terms of the villager count. But Viper has been securing the relics. Monk's still healing up some light cav. I'm genuinely curious how the Khitans are going to do against Barles, because the Khitans have an insane economy, absolutely insane. And that will be even more so when they get to the late game. They'll keep their pastures working. If their arena base is small, pastures will be more space efficient with 2 Vils on each of them. You can throw them up against the edge of the map if you want. Fast imp gunpowder? Well, it's not going to be fast imp, right? He's 3 TC booming. That's not what I'd call a fast imp. It might just be a boom into gunpowder. Like a 3 TC boom into gunpowder. You can determine how quickly you go imp after that. Has done wheelbarrow. We'll see if he does handcart. Usually you want to click handcart as fast as you can because it will be discounted for the Burgundians. And discounted handcart is lovely. And more monks going down. 1 monk goes down for Viper. Trying to bring in a 3rd relic. Those were numbers 3 and 4. 1 relic still up against the edge of the map. Barles back to heal, but I think Viper will grab that relic. So Viper will be down by almost 20 Vils, but will be up 3 relics to 0, and in a position to grab all 5. Question for Viper is then, does he put himself too far behind in the boom if he's not adding the TCs as quickly? Does at least have wheelbarrow. And I think that monk will eat the relic inside. Nope, we're not. We'll go down, but Viper will grab the relic right away anyway. So sacrificing a light cav for a monk. And Barles needs to hope that's worth it. Barles will be going for a relic himself. I'll have to try to get conversions on the Fire Lancers. With the ranged attack, still I wonder if Fire Lancers run in and snipe off monks. Now Viper wants to convert a pikeman. I guess the answer for Viper is you charge a conversion and then try to swap. So 1 monk goes down, another monk goes down. Everyone gonna lose their monks here. But there's that handcart I was talking about for Barles. Clicks it now. And in the middle, chaos as Barles loses more monks. Has a few pikemen left. Oh, and Jordan! Thank you, Jordan, for the raid. Hope you had a lovely stream. And we're here casting a Viper. Playing against Barles in Midweek Madness. We have Arena is game 1, and Viper will be the Khitans. He is gone for Fire Lancers and Light Cav to secure relics in the middle, but he added in his TCs a bit later than Barles, so he's down by about 15 Vils, but up 3-0 so far in relics. And honestly in a good position where he might be able to secure all 5 of them. So nice to see Jordan back. Thank you for the raid. And we'll have, ooh, almost a castle there. Barles thinking about where to place his castle. I was going to do it in front of his gold. Still has the stone in his stockpile. And he'll do it a bit more forward, trying to secure that front gold and stone. When we look at the extra resources, they have all spawned to the northeast too. Not directly between the players, but over to the side, the gold, the extra golds, the extra stones, all up here. Map is actually... oh, no, over there. There we go. Wonder if Viper will add a 4th TC here. I wonder how long he's going to stay. Castle. Looks like he's going to go forward for a castle. We'll run into Barles' castle. At least he did loom. With all the scouts he has, doesn't actually see this. Barles, if he gets under the castle, will be able to grab a relic at long last. And Viper will see that and run away from it. Yeah, okay, there the Vils see the castle. And he will snipe off that monk, but leaves the relic under the castle foundation. Both will click imp at exactly the same time. And Viper will do his castle forward and try to force a Treb War. Now he's down by about 18 Vils, but up by 3 relics. Doesn't quite make up for it. The Light Cav in the north looks like he'll secure a 4th relic. And he'll be adding in a workshop behind that castle. Now the Khitans are a trebuchet civ. They don't have the traction trebs, and they are also a ram civ. They don't have the elephants. So rams and trebs, although they do have camel trebs. Those are more anti-unit than anti-building though. Long range has a min range. Strong versus siege weapons and tight groups of units. I've not seen too much of that. Usually the Khitan games don't go to imp. But Viper has been liking them on Arena. As I said earlier, we saw him play them on Sudden Disaster. That's what we need to see with traction trebs and elephant rams. And camel trebs. Give him all the things. So fletching and bodkin on the way for both of these castles. Masonry has come in for Barles for some more HP on his castle. And a rocket cart immediately for Viper. Well, that would defend him against the ram push, but it doesn't look like Barles is going for said rams. He'll be doing another castle at home. As Viper has done a castle around the side, and could be in a position to get double trebs quickly for this Treb War, and Barles so far not grabbing that relic. Cobra Card Treb. That's exactly right, Fitzharmon. We need more Cobra Cars. I was going to sneak some Cobra Cars into a map I was scripting, as some scenery on the outside, but that land apparently won't happen now. And mining camps for Viper, taking the neutral resources. Right now trying to keep Barles in his base. Barles will have to re-wall behind this to make sure Fire Lancers don't get in a position to raid his Vils. That forward gold's still something he wants to have secured. His main gold at the back, he's still taking. And it'll be Trebs for Barles, Trebs for Viper. Now the difficulty about this Treb fight for Barles will be if he loses this castle, all the Trebs positioned by it will go down. Same thing for Viper, but... And, oh no, what is this? We've broken through. The rewalling was, I guess, too close to the castle. And Viper does manage to break through, keep Barles off of that gold. So now it comes to the Treb fight, he'll try to wall them in. Barles will try to wall them in and keep the Trebs safe. A mounted trebuchet for Viper. These things, I think, will be good at picking off enemy Trebs, maybe? I don't know how much DPS they actually provide against buildings. Not all that much, only plus 10 against buildings. So 30 attack and then 10 against buildings. And what's the range? Only 10 range, so they don't outrange the castle. Viper needs to get his Trebs deployed, though. And Barles splitting his Trebs on both castles. This is what I don't like. Ooh, as the castle takes out the camel trap. Viper may be getting greedy. Going for it before the castle goes down. Viper, no repair vills, actually. Doing conscription, won't be able to get conscription. And in the back, Barles looping around the Custilier. He will go for the trebs. And those trebs will go down as the castle goes down. I was going to say, I was worried about these trebs if the castle goes down, that the fire lancers might pick them off. But same thing happens for Viper here, as Barles sending an entire village to repair, 18 vills repairing. And with 2 trebs down, that'll be more than enough to keep this castle alive. And now the fire lancer's dying to the castle, and Viper's in a big spot of trouble here as he's down by 20 vills and losing his forward castle. Loses both forward castles. Tries to wall them in quickly. Viper now running into a Burgundian's player who has enough vills to repair his castle. I'll have to be careful of the fire lancers. Viper needs to stay within murder hole's range. And the trebs taking out the quick wall gates. Viper, he has more gates though. Just slamming them down. And Barles lost a few repair vills to the fire lancers, but still has enough. He needs to make sure he has stone. He's out of stone. Needs to buy stone to repair. There he goes. And keeps the castle alive still. Fusilier finally to take out the fire lancer. And doing some ranges, he has chemistry, so that can be for hand cannoneers to try to deal with those fire lancers finally. Barles losing some gold access there, but should be able to keep this castle up. Takes out all of Viper's trebs. And Viper will have to go for cav archers now. So an AoE zone consolidated drama thread. There's no more AoE zone drama threads, unfortunately. I miss those days though. The AoE zone was great because everything was in one place. Now you have to go to 10 million Discord servers for all the news. What land was canceled? If you saw, there was a land TPA on the calendar for December that had not properly been announced. But that is, from what I've heard, no longer happening. So Trebs will be taking out the barracks. And pushing Viper a bit farther back. Viper at least has had some of the gold control. And he is still up 4 relics to 0. Or 4 relics to 1, as Barles finally will grab the relic that had been lying under his castle. Now, Viper will try to go cav archers and preserve his map control. We have seen cav archers versus Burgundians in the past, as heavy cav archer and thumb ring and chemistry come in. Fully upgraded aside from bloodlines will be Viper's cav archers. You'll see some Burgundian skirms and hand cannons then. And that was that, was it Mihai Sorokuma that we casted with Sato back in Sudden Disaster. Cav archers against Burgundians. Burgundians can struggle against cav archers, that's for sure, but they'll need skirms and they'll need good cannon shots. Yeah, exactly, Cheney. Burgundian vineyards? He already has it, yes, for the gold income. So denying relics from the Burgundians is great, because they do also have the food trickle from them. But maybe not enough for the Khitans, as Viper finally getting to the point he's at about 130 vills. Cav archers, not the most expensive of army composition now that he's got the upgrades. They don't take any food. But a food unit is kind of what the Khitans specialize in, though, with their pastures. Barles will be moving forward, more workshops, forward castle to defend his trebs, and he is in range of the monastery. Viper did not run his relics to the rear, and he has siege engineers on the way. His cannons will be breaking down the gate. Still in the calendar, so it might not have been formally cancelled or removed from the calendar, but I've been told it has been cancelled. I know I've talked about it here before. So we'll have Paladin on the way. For Barles. As the skirms keep pushing forward. And Treb's going to be going for the stable. As the stable goes down. And the barracks goes down too. More pastures getting tribbed. And the Elite Scarum continuing to push in for Barles. Force the Cav Archers back. Viper desperately hanging on with the castle. And he's lost his relics. He's lost a lot of his pasture economy. The space on the front has been occupied now by Barles. And it is about a 5k score lead. We're entering almost ACCM territory. ACCM should be our next set. But we're just about ready to see a thing Viper call the GG. Or maybe not. He's going for more castles. Barles will have outposts to see them. Does look kind of over. Pop count isn't too bad yet. Viper's dropped under 150. And there, Barles is victorious. Viper must have typed the GG after resigning. We'll assume he does that. So better KD, much better eco for Barles. The Khitans looked impressive in fighting over the relics, but fell too far behind in villager count with Viper not having the TCs added in, and not really the late game save the Khitans. Getting pinged somewhere. Oh, it's Baron going live. Alright, I need to get the drafts up, but Barles will take game 1. Get the drafts. And there we go, drafts. And don't see them in game 2 just yet. I see Sato playing. I think he's playing from a LAN location. The Italy LAN I've been talking about is this weekend. Yeah, best of 3 is rough, definitely. Oh, I got my drafts backwards. We got Barles on the left, actually. That was Burgundians over Khitans. Alright. No Kumans on Arena. Are you allowed to place risky castles? Why wouldn't you? There's no castle placement rule. Oops, I didn't leave the game. And next will be Rocky Forest, Maya versus Gajurs. Let's see if they have a spec delay. And here we are, game number 2. And hello, Mateus, on YouTube. How you doing? So we shall have Barles to the north as the purple Maya, and Viper to the southeast as the yellow Gajurs. And we've seen Barles play Aztecs here to go for a quick drush. Maybe he'll do something similar with the Maya. Some type of Eagle Warrior play. Plumed Archers feel like they should be pretty good against the Gajurs once you get enough of them to overcome Trevamshrider shields. Maybe only chicken castles are allowed? Ah, okay. Thank you, Thrillo12 for the raid. Raid time. Hello, everyone. Hello. Viper, yes, everyone loves seeing Viper. Viper in his traditionally yellow color, too. Are these ranked games? These are not ranked. This is a tournament. This is Midweek Madness. This is a weekly-ish event hosted by Daniela. I updated OBS earlier today, and it's been kind of lagging when I go to type in it. So hopefully the stream is fine. I opened OBS this morning, and it gave me the pop-up, hey, would you like to download the update? And I just clicked yes. And it updated, but it seems to be kind of laggy when I was interacting with the browser sources. Don't know what that's about. The dangers of updating your technology right before you use it. Oh, thank you for the flowers, Chipmunk. Even featuring the snake, yes. Any idea what the starting times of the group stage of the China LAN will be? I have no idea. That is a good question. But, I don't know. I'd assume Chinese-friendly times, which is a very different time zone than what I'm in. Who knows, it might be something I get to cast in the evenings, though. That'd be pretty cool. But I don't have any insights into that. Can't imagine it being UK friendly. That I don't know. I'll need to double check my schedule. It might be at the same time I'm going to TwitchCon too. So I'm not sure how much casting I'll be able to do. Hopefully I'll be able to cast it though. I have an archer range coming up at the front for Viper. But I think the Eagle, definitely loses to the Feudal Camel Scout when the Spear comes out. So no early drushing this map. Just standard up to Feudal Skirmisher play. I'll probably see some Eagles then from Barles. Yep, another Eagle Scout. He lost his first, but he'll have more at home. It'll be Eagles and Archers. And he'll try to get numbers enough that he can fight Viper with this. More farms going up for Barles. And it'll be skirms for Viper. So just chilling with skirms, not even thinking of moving out yet. Just chilling, scouting with his spear and his camel. And Barles will be... Oh, that's a wall from Barles. That's one heck of a wall. And remember, he will have one hole over here in the wood line. That's rock terrain that he can't cover. We'll try to keep it covered by the tower, though. Those Shrivam Riders later on might run in. They won't care about the tower fire. Archers and Eagles still hoovering around on the right.
नमस्ते आज्ञा नमस्ते.
And now it's time for Viper to deploy his skirms. His skirm keep the archers away force. That's quite a few skirms he actually has. Moving over to chase the eagles. Eagles will be moving down towards Viper's mill. Viper could try to quick wall them. Is this the real Viper? Okay, there he goes. That's what I expected. Quick wall gates up, using the camel to try to harass the eagles as the skirms get more javelins in. Camel will have to run around. As the skirms keep taking out the eagle. And the camel goes down. And there goes the eagle. So on the other side we'll have a market coming up for Barles, as the walls keep coming up, trying to stay walled in the back. And he'll be pumping out a few more archers, sending some eagles around the side. So it looks like Barles wants to fight around the side. They are pretty darn close around the side. And actually isn't that much farther than going straight through the middle. While Barles is fully walled in the back, maybe he actually needs walls on this side. I guess you can do a full circular wall against the edge of the map, but then you're giving yourself no wood access. And Barles thinking of continuing to push and get into that wood line. Eagles don't need armor against the feudal skirms, especially when they don't have fletching, and they don't have a hill. And pushing in with 4 eagles, Viper will be forced to do a tower on his wood line, actually at the point where he's chopped enough he can wall his villas with a second lumber camp. Try to keep those villas on the inside if he can. Now the archers come forward and might have a small window where they can hit villas before the tower comes up. No fletching though. And Viper will have to try to run the villas back to the safety of the tower and will succeed, doesn't lose a vill. And Viper will be up about a minute faster than Barles. And stable for Viper. I imagine this becomes Shravamtriders. And eventually he works to get towards Chakram throwers, perhaps. I still feel like plumed archers. Really good against the Gujaras. Maybe a big mass of Shravamtriders can deal with them. But when going on into Imp, Gujaras won't have the final armor upgrade for their skirms. And maybe, just maybe, could lose to Maya skirms. Mayans are Mayans? Actually, Mayans are Maya now. It changed the name.
Namaste.
So Vill's coming up on the stone there for Viper. How good they are is a valid tautology. So Barles just hoovering around back and forth. He would love to wait until he hits Castle, because the Eagles will get a free +3 attack once he does hit Castle. And should be pretty darn good against Shravamtriders once they do get there. He will take the fight just as he's about up. And now, quick attack boost, boom, he's ready to take a much better fight. Viper will have the speed advantage and be able to pull back. And see what type of pathing Barles can get here against the skirms. Bear going for one of Viper's vills. Eagles trying to hit the TC builders, but Viper with a nice quick wall will keep them safe. We'll lose a vill though. So not a free TC, does get harassed a bit. The Barles and Decisive. So Eagles will get the Eagle Warrior upgrade, Squire's armor all on the way. Not going to be able to harass that wood line, but we'll still hoover in the eco. And Viper with the TC on stone can start working towards a castle and maybe chakram throwers to deal with eagles. Question for Barles then is how does he respond to this? He's going to go for a forward workshop. Okay, so looks like it'll be 1 TC Maya Eagles. So 2 barracks. And let's see, what did he do with the stone? He did a tower. He bought stone later on. Okay, why did he buy the stone? So archers and eagles on one side. Oh, he's going for the mill. The weakness of the Gajur is losing their mill, losing their herdables. Viper will start ungarrisoning the herdables and bringing them back to his TC. Oh, Barles stole one, though. The lamer. Syllogisms. Okay. Skirm's trying to keep the pig alive, but it gets lamed. The university going up, Mangonel's out from the workshop, and we'll have a monastery forward for Barles too. So monastery to help deal with Shravamshriders. Viper will be going monks and picking up relics. Interesting that he's going for the university. I guess it's just for skirms then. And Barles in a position he might win 2-0 over Viper. You're taught pre-formal logic in your formal logic class. Your classical logic. There are lots of different logics you can be taught. Oh, one shot the TC with the Mangonel. Oh, Barles, you're not greedy enough. Oh, he's waiting for the Vils. He's waiting for the Vils. Can he hit the Shravamshriders? Yeah, they're gonna shield the projectiles though. I don't know if the attack rounds, now that they do damage, maybe they hit the Shravamshriders again. Still, it's gonna be very minimal damage. And then quick repairs. And with the Eagles defending, Viper will lose the Shravamshriders. So Eagles enough to defend there. I'm still wondering if Viper's gonna get a castle up for chakram throwers. I think it's the only way he reasonably can fight the Eagles in the Castle Age. His ballistics on the way for Viper. His eagle will run around. I think Viper's gotten worse, so everyone else has gotten better. I think it's a combination of Viper having other things in life and other people. I don't know if they're getting better than the level in the past, but at least they've maintained a high level. And there's an HGG from Viper as he can't hold the push from Barles. So Barles 2-0 over Viper. I'll lose that TC. And still, what I think is a weird Civ matchup for the Gajaras to play against the Maya. The other American Civs, I think they have a more clear answer for chakram throwers. Well, maybe just against Aztecs. I guess Inca can go slingers too. Best of 3, best of 3. So 2-0 for Barles. So GG. And that'll be Barles up 2-0. Winning Rocky Forest. Maya over Gajurs. Now we're supposed to have ACCM versus Lewis. I don't know if that actually is on the schedule properly because Lewis also is apparently playing Dogao. in the Mini Arabia Cup, and they're both best of threes. So I don't know what's actually happening with Lewis. And then at 17:30, he's playing Rodrix in the Masters of Hyper Random 3. And then he would also need to play the finals for this if he wins. So Lewis has himself a packed day. He's got 3 and potentially 4 sets all overlapping each other. Good win for Barles. Viper been on form recently. Yeah, Viper did win the GL Cookout. But clearly struggled against Barles here. Barles playing well. Barles will make it to the finals then, where he will face the winner of ACCM versus Lewis, which is supposed to be happening soon. But I'm going to take a quick break and grab some water for myself, then we'll check up on the schedule and what's actually happening. Alright, I have obtained water. And let's see what's happening. Maybe there's a Discord post. Oh, looks like we do have ACCM versus Lewis. Good. Update all my titles. Alright. And now we hope that Lewis actually is here. Hope that he's here. Let me check out Danny's stream and see if... Okay, she has ACCM Lewis up. So hopefully that is starting in just a moment. Oh, they're on different sides of the draft on different drafts. Good job, Lewis. Let's see, I still haven't started these drafts. I'll wait until they start so we see what they officially are before getting up there. And hello everyone on YouTube. Hello, hello. Turned off the XP leaderboard, now the chat is clean again. And Viper and T90? I think Viper would win that easily. And hello Tyler and Ollie. And Bennett. Yeah, so the previous set was only a best of 3. So it was only a best of 3. That was a very quick one. Alright, have they started their drafting? It says this is live. Wait, what is going on with these drafts? So Lewis will be on the left then. There we go. Sorry I didn't copy and paste this multiple times. Let me do that. I'll keep it darker for us. There we go. So Ring of Reeds Game 1. These are the LY Cup maps. Lewis will have Lookout as his home map and ACCM Khmer as his home map. No arena, sadly. Have I heard why they haven't done any more of the Town Hall podcasts? I've not heard that. I don't know. Maybe they just needed a break. I have no insights into that. So Dravidians and Japanese, their favorite picks, presumably for the water map. Although I suppose Japanese could be played on Ring of Reeds. Ooh, the Maya for Lewis. Interesting map pool to pick the Maya so highly. I'm going at AoE Tetris? What do you mean? You know, we've done Tetris before. We've done that before. That's a YouTube short. I also talked about it in that El Cid video. And there are the Burgundians for ACCM. And Burmese at the end for Lewis. Ooh, could maybe do some type of monk rush on Ring of Reeds with them. Could the Maya be played on Lookout? I guess so. Feels like that's the best location for him. Assuming Japanese for... Yeah, the only save that Lewis would reasonably play on Khmer. ACCM could also go Bengalis there, not just Dravidians. Even maybe Georgians, some type of forward landing fortified churches. I'm good at AoE Tetris. I think AoE Tetris hits a point where it doesn't speed up enough that if you're good at Tetris, you'll never lose. And I saw someone do a video where their PC basically crashed because it ran out of memory playing Tetris due to some, I guess, DE memory leak. So I guess your skill at AoE Tetris might depend on the strength of your PC. All right, just gonna let these players get a lobby going. It must be getting kind of late for ACCM. I think it is around 11 p.m. for him. And if he wins, that means he just has to keep playing the finals even later. Will we get an AoE Tetris tournament? I don't have any plans for that. As much fun as that sounds. Alright, we have launched. First game will be on Ring of Reeds and the Civs. What will these Civs be? They will be Burmese for Lewis and Burgundians for ACCM. So we were talking the other day about how some players grind the ladder. Lewis actually higher elo than ACCM, 2802 against 2706. So in some sense you could say he's the favorite here. Probably not in terms of tournament experience or tournament elo, but he's been doing well for himself in terms of ladder points. And here we go. So, cyan versus blue. I will put Lewis in red to distinguish the player colors a bit more. We'll have ACCM playing to the northwest as the cyan Burgundians and Lewis to the southeast as the red Burmese. And it is Ring of Reeds, the same version used in the LY Cup, and also from Sudden Disaster, where we have the shallows and shorefish so you can dock on the outside. And bore outside your walls. Lewis will be bringing that in. Ooh, don't kill the sheep out there. Ooh, almost a disaster. Lewis will kill the boar with the TC. And the ACCM left to lure from the outside. So this map, you do have some deer and berries in the middle, some shorefish around there too. And you can see mills in the middle. You can see docks in the middle. Different ways to play and secure that bit of resource. Also the deer being pushed in from ACCM. You do eventually need a mill to unlock the market and to unlock farms. So you don't want to go only for the dock and never have a mill. You can find yourself in that nomad build order where you forget the mill and then can't do the market and can't click up. So you don't want to be there. And hello, John on YouTube. You always want to make sure you're in a position where you can click up. The deer will be pushed in from Lewis in towards the TC.
Okay.
And I wonder if the Burmese want to go for men-at-arms here. Men-at-arms into monks feel like the play. You could also go a Rambai. Burgundians, I feel like they can struggle against a Rambai. The same way they can struggle maybe against Cav Archers a bit. Not the best skirms. And a Rambai should do well against Castilier or even Cavaliers. Won't have to take a fight, can just run away. Another deer getting in. Nicely pushed from Lewis. He'll be doing a mining camp on his gold. And milling the outside. No dock from Lewis, just a mill. And we do have the dock from ACCM. Now, where will ACCM mill? He could mill the middle. We'll need to mill something. As I said, you do need that mill. And Lewis pushing in the deer. And ACCM will be up slightly faster to feudal, actually. 20 population, 19 vills compared to 21 vills for Lewis. Let's see, ACCM docked, but didn't actually do a fishing ship. And I think he was maybe struggling for wood for the barracks. So if you're gonna dock and go for men-at-arms, you do skip the... you skip the mill, because then you wouldn't have the wood for the barracks. So it's a dock trush. But he's also had to skip the fishing ships. He's doing one fire for the outside. And he will be doing bow saw, and it'll be a bow saw tower rush. So ACCM may be hoping to keep this as an extended feudal age game, where the Burgundians would have the better economy. So Market Blacksmith in the back from Lewis. He is not going to play an extended feudal age game. Your map is so compact that it's hard for tower rushes to do damage. It's very easy to use your TC as part of the wall, but you can give up a lot of map control in doing so. Gold on the outside that Lewis could go take if he wanted to. And if the tower rush gets through and gets a tower up over here, he might have to if his gold gets denied. But it's still kind of even hard, I think, for ACCM to get a tower over there. How much area the TC takes up? You'd have to get, maybe he could. Maybe it's not that bad if he goes right here. Have a loose little wall up behind that. Knows he needs to protect that gold with all the vills on it. Oh, what if Lewis simply walls the front of his base, takes a whole bunch of gold, those loomed vills, then goes around the outside to Monk Rush? Well, we do have a Flemish militia on the outside. Maybe that puts a hole in the plan. As ACCM scout will run through, but then basically get trapped. As the next tower comes forward, it will be on the wood line. So not on the gold, on the wood line. Didn't scout the gold yet, now he sees it. This tower will be defended by the one in the back, especially once fletching comes in. So Lewis will have to abandon that wood line. Could go to the outside for wood, but there's a fire on the outside for ACCM. Already hitting Lewis's vills. And here comes a Flemish militia, and ooh, almost gets through the gate. Scout will pick a vill, okay. And there goes what I said about the scout being trapped. Scout's being useful. Flemish militia could look at that weak vill on the outside. Lewis could try to quick wall her or run her away somewhere. But hard to keep her useful for the moment with that militia to chase. I have Horse Collar on the way for ACCM, who did mill the middle with a bunch of shorefish and berries there. And we'll be able to add farms at home now that he has Horse Collar. The defensive workshop from Lewis and a monastery needing to go for military buildings rather than immediate TCs. But with those towers, ACCM will try to take as much map control for as long as he can. Keep his vills on the shorefish before running them back. Doing a market himself, maybe thinking soon about buying his way up, but still a bit of a ways away. And it'll be a need for mangonels from Lewis to clear the towers. So Lewis down by 8 vills still. One kill for ACCM and also a bit of an uptiming difference. As ACCM is not clicked yet, and that will give him a vill advantage. Try to use the tower to force as much repairing on that mangonel as possible, but one watchtower shouldn't win against the mangonel, as long as Lewis doesn't fall asleep on the repairs. And 2 mangonels will take out the towers no problem, but ACCM just trying to buy himself time to go up. Trying to buy himself time to go up and still keep some type of map control. He'll be able to swap targets there, force vills to swap their repairing. He'll be repairing the tower if he can with 1 vill. Almost out of stone though, trying to hold on to the position. And out of stone now, so can't repair this tower. He's trying to. They're holding stone, but they can't use it to repair until they put it in the mining camp. And there is Castle Age on the way for ACCM. And he will have to run and do a demo. Oh my gosh, this could be a good demo if Lewis doesn't pay attention. Lewis, does he see the dock? Does. Here's a demo. There goes ACCM. Oh, Lewis gets the attack ground on the demo, clears it. That was clutch. And he'll keep the mangonels and his vills alive. I have redemption on the way now for Lewis, double monasteries. And on the outside, a fire from Lewis, getting some revenge from that early fire from ACCM. Now John taking the number one crown on YouTube. Oh, look at that mangonel spinning around. Try to find its way to path around the barracks. ACCM's TC taking some damage. He does not have the stone for a castle. And so far so good as far as the monk rush is concerned with redemption. Conversions. Conversions in the market and on the barracks. And now it is spears for Lewis, a forward barracks for spears. That'll be amazing for him for defending against the light cav play ACCM wanted to do. And on this map, at least you do have room on the outside to run to, but so far, this has worked out perfectly for Lewis. ACCM not able to buy enough time in the middle before Lewis was able to push forward. Now Sanctity on the way, and with these Burmese spears with extra attack, can defend quite well, keep the scouts away. He's pumping out more spears. Oh, the converted barracks. Oh, spear does go down to the TC. Bit of a waste there. And another mangonel coming forward 2 from home. That's 3 mangonels. All working on the TC. And hello, Drill Man on YouTube. Good day to you. And this TC will go down. The TC will go down, and ACCM will have one more attempt to fight, but the monks are starting their conversions. The vills are being sent. The vills are being sent. The TC is down. The TC is down. Mangonels could get good shots on the vills. The vills are all down. Spears are still here to fight the light cav. Monks can heal a bit, and the light cav won't get kills on the monks. There's a GG from ACCM, and Lewis goes up 1-0. Burmese monk rush. What is Capture Age advertising to me? 14 to 6 KD. 6 buildings destroyed, 4 conversions. And the Burmese monk rush succeeds. Succeeds. He likes cyan. ACCM has been picking cyan recently. I'm proud of him. He needs to start winning with the color, though. I think he picks it on water maps. Maybe it's the same reason I like it there. It's a bit easier to see than blue on top of the mini-map. That's Lewis going up 1-0. He'll win our initial map. And as for civs, it'll be Burmese against the Burgundians. So both going with their very last civ for that game. And it will be Khmer on game number 2. And remember, this is now match point for Lewis. It's a best of 3, which can be brutal. And the finals will come up right after this set. So nice and quick. 2 best of 3s and a best of 5 for the finals. And from their last picks to their first picks, it'll now be Japanese Dravidians. ACCM picking sign will be a sign for Hidden Cup. Maybe. So Dravidians, Japanese, the map is Khmer. You will have a transport ship. There are oysters scattered around. And you have your own little island. So Lewis will be playing as the Red Japanese to the north, and ACCM as the Cyan Dravidians to the south. You have 3 wood lines on your starting island. And in every corner, there are spots you can transport to grab more resources. This map will be for the LY Cup. And Lewis will be docking in the back. ACCM docking to the side. I think you do start with a fishing ship here, not just a transport, but also a fishing ship. So you can do lots of water scouting. And Lewis. Well, I guess he's afraid of being transport ship attacked by the scout. He will wall in his Vil. Maybe there's a chance to use your transport ship to bypass those walls, though, on this map. Can't wait for the next Hidden Cup. We'll see. We do have TTL coming up at the start of next year. Maybe next year T90 will feel the motivation again. And hello, Tomasiano. Let's go. How you doing? I want to see Furious the Monkey Boy for next Hidden Cup. Have we used Furious the Monkey Boy already? As a name? I forget if we have. Yeah, we do use one cheat unit. Maybe we could use some Age of Mythology hero names. You have like Arcantos, Ajax, Chiron, Amonra, Regan Leaf, Odysseus, Agamemnon, Gargarensis, Kamos, Kemsit. All AOM characters. That could be a fun set of Hidden Cup names. I'm doing pretty well. And ooh, we have ACCM thinking of scouting, then going back, and then going forward again. All right, yeah, he's forward with his scout. There he goes. Let's see what he's looking for. Hasn't scouted the corners yet, but the corners are pretty set. Don't necessarily need to scout them. You know the stuff's there pretty much every time. Barracks, so you can go men-at-arms on this map. There's room to drush and transport ship, and that looks like exactly what ACCM will be doing. And exactly what Lewis will be doing, both committing to the militia/men-at-arms lines. VMDL and AoE Lover 11, thank you for the follow. We're closing in quite rapidly on 14,000 followers. So appreciate the follows and all the support we've been getting this month. Especially since September is usually a down month, it's nice to still have people showing up and subbing and following. Definitely helps to keep everything running and to keep doing more events. And let's see, more militia, more villagers. 4 militia, 2 vills for ACCM going to go forward. And Lewis will be right there with his militia to meet the transport ship. Oh, he's just going to hop on and hop off. Alright, there's men-at-arms for both of them. Lewis a bit slower. Vills on the transport still running around. Can you sail into this little lake? Oh, thank you, Lewis, for answering the question. You can. Oh, is it wall him in? ACCM, wall the transport ship. Wall it. Oh, no. Oh, ACCM, that would have been clutch if you walled that and trapped the transport. Well, he loses his scout. Oh, missed opportunity there. A double bit axe for Lewis. And there's the range. Now archers on their way out. An outpost will come up for ACCM. Lewis has to realize it's an outpost, not a tower, and I think he does. Not overreacting to it, but ACCM has to run the vills. It'll be a good men-at-arms fight here, but a fight Lewis will win, as he has numbers he can bring over. I do notice the sand beach terrain, yes. That's probably due to terrain masking. If you place a mask, you also need to use the beach terrain on the mask. If you're using the icy shore as the edge. Either that or keep the mask at least a distance away from the shore of 1. Or it's just RMS weirdness, but usually that's the issue, is that there's some terrain or mask that didn't have the beach terrain set, from what I've seen. Or maybe like the water is placed later and that doesn't have the beach, something like that. But yeah, you do have the little bits of wibbliness. Also, the completely straight lines where the terrains don't transition properly from one tile to the next due to the masking. Look at that perfectly straight line. Now that you mention it. Anyway, we'll have some quick walling from Lewis to keep this army out. The men-at-arms will keep trying to push through. Each square of oysters has 450 gold. Yes, indeed. And they don't decay at all. It's 450. And Scrimes will take out an archer or a man-at-arms here. ACCM not microing for the moment. He is fighting on water with the fire galleys. A lot going on this map. And we don't have anyone transporting to any of the corners yet. Still on their main islands. ACCM wants to get some stuff out from that range again. So far, he's the one applying all the pressure to Lewis. Entire island is one terrain and two masks? Really? Interesting. Maybe it's not then. Usually that's how I fix it, by putting the beach terrain in the masks too. But if it's simpler than that, then maybe it's just RMS jank. Those two villas are fishing ships. Let's see, there's so much going on. I'm gonna guess it was two fishing ships, as Lewis has a fire out here, taking out even more fishing ships. And Lewis has opened a nice eco lead. If only there were a demo right there to go boom on those vills. Clutching for ACCM, he will try to get some more attack damage done from that forward range. And so far, he's been walled out though. And now an army of pure skirms ready to meet this force from ACCM. And arms will run the skirms back, but more skirms will just come forward. I'll have a market going up for Lewis too. The 3-0 Eco KD, and I think that's still on the fishing ships that these fires are harassing. Ooh, one more could go down. Almost. 3 HP. This fire could come around and grab it from the back. Transport's still chilling in the middle. And Lewis still trying to defend with the skirms. Don't really feel like he's taking too much damage from this. He actually will run to a fire. And can use the fire to deal damage to the men-at-arms. I like that actually. You're going to take the men-at-arm numbers down. ACCM maybe slightly winning that fight. Well, Lewis will get back to the TC. And, well, if he doesn't have vills inside, at least he can garrison the skirms. And keep them safe. Here is Castle Age on the way from Lewis. On his way up. There he goes. Skirms come over to the wood line. We'll hit the vills back. Skirms here. Take out the men-at-arms. Go for the skirms on the other side. Down they'll go. Lewis is playing very well. And, well, ACCM nowhere close to Castle. Might be able to do some market magic to go up soon. But hasn't really been able to disrupt Lewis all that much. Lewis has done a great job of scouting. And aside from one little instance where his transport could have been walled in, I think he's been playing this great. The death counter saying this is GG. Lewis on a roll. Lewis rolling right through ACCM. And now ACCM finally clicks up, but after Lewis already is Castle, Lewis doing War Galley now. Those men-at-arms being super annoying. But now they're down. And hello, Beba Cakes, how you doing? Is this now in the vanilla game that berries have those dead bush graphics? What do you... I think so, yes. Forage... No, not forage. The orange bushes, I think, always had a different graphic when they were slightly taken, and I think the forage bushes do now too. So it's consistent. Okay, there's that final man-at-arms going down. And Elite Skirm on the way for Lewis. Doesn't need to wait for Elite Skirm before fighting, but once it comes in, should take a great fight. You could wall by the coast and force the Skirms to run by the fire, that'd be great. Doing well, how are you? I'm doing well too. Glad to have you here. And ooh, nice fight for Lewis on the water over here. ACCM running straight into that. He'll get a demo, but that's only one feudal demo. And he's gonna get another feudal demo from the rear. Lewis has to be careful not to run into stacked fires. As ACCM is up. Still hoovering around the skirms, but down by 8 vils, or 8 eco units. 4 fishing ships to 0, still 44 vils to 40. Oh, and transport ship hopping into that little pond. And Lewis will sail out and now get a skirmisher raid on ACCM's base, Bodkin and Elite Skirm. So he can threaten vils, and at home ACCM has a range, but nothing really to defend against this. When the skirms get in, we'll see how quickly ACCM can react. He does run the vils on the wood line, but doesn't get a wall up. The skirms can keep progressing forward into the base. Lewis has stepped up a game a lot. He has. He really has. He's been grinding and playing a lot of games. And hello, Sniper Timo on YouTube. Is it funny how villagers use the pickaxe to mine the oysters? Yes, that is pretty weird. I think that would destroy the pearls you're trying to grab from them if you're careless with the pickaxe. So, defensive workshop here from ACCM, trying to run some weak fills away from the gold. ACCM, or Lewis not quite paying attention to pick them off. Now, Elite Skirm though for ACCM. Ooh, Lewis maybe getting a bit too excited with his forward pressure. Not at home to defend his vils. Finally, ACCM getting some eco kills. There are his first 2. And Lewis still not really running like he might need to here. Does he have a demo on the way? No, nothing to clean the skirms. Could bring his fires over to help. Okay, but that was a good counterattack from ACCM. Finally doing some damage to Lewis. Lewis lost 2 vils, perhaps unnecessarily there. Still trying to micro his forward skirms. And hello, Jafar. I think Lewis is going to do pretty well in TTL this next season. I think so too. Imagine if Lewis is the player finally to break Kara's S-tier streak. Haven't actually had an S-tier in a while now, have we? I guess the Ling 1 Cup will be. Still have no idea who decides what the tiers are, or how it's decided. I know it's like on Wikipedia somehow. It's not just money, there's also some other factors. End of October, middle of October, I think. Oh, that night, getting some cleanup on those skirms. So the forward range from ACCM, that's destroyed. He's got 3 skirms left. One more night will deal with them. And a lot of vils transporting for Lewis as he now has the stone for a castle drop. We'll do a chicken castle on the edge of the island. Won't go forward and plop it down on the TC. Yeah, also depends on the players. And probably some other things too. Well, there's the GG. Here's the GG as the castle will go up for Lewis and he'll win 2-0 and advance to the finals to face Barles. So Lewis versus Barles. They'll have a best of 5 coming up shortly. GG's. Viper loses and ACCM loses. 2-0 for Lewis. Didn't even get to play Lookout. Didn't need to. Who would have picked Viper versus ACCM? Definitely the well-established names. See, the ACCM already is in Rage Forest with Viper. Is that the loser bracket? ACCM, Viper playing Rage Forest? Immediately Rage, yes. So we're going to figure out what we're going to cast, if this is happening now or soon. There's also, like I said, Hyper Random going on. And Kara's playing some ranked games. There's an Arabia tournament going on. And then, of course, there's Rage. Lewis hasn't lost a game yet. Lewis OP. Alright, so it looks like the finals are starting right away. I had draft links already. Oh wow, they're drafting quickly. I'll have to swap my scoreboard sides. And there we go. Oh no, it's the best of 7 there, or best of 5. The drafts are in a different spot. I did not anticipate this. hold on. Maybe this will be a thing I can do. There we go. Like that. All right, that didn't work. There we go. Now we got the sieves and they fit. So Inca for Rocky Forest, very first pick for Barles. We have Chicken Arena, not Nomad, as the home maps for Barles. Lookout and Rocky Forest, the maps for Lewis, and Bedouins is game number 1. The Bovinian derivative, one of your favorite AoE 2 songs just after Taser, yeah. Taser is my favorite, and I think Taser is everyone's favorite. Everyone loves Taser. So we'll cast this, and we might cast some Hyper Random afterwards. I mean, maybe this will be another 3-0 win for Lewis. Lewis has not dropped a game throughout this entire week, as people have said. So lots of Lewis casting. You can tell he's taking it seriously. He's not even streaming during it either. He's taking it very seriously. Okay, so while they finish drafting, I'm just going to run to the bathroom, and then we'll get right into this set. Alright, so let's see what we got here. Do we have a lobby? We do have a lobby. Game 1 will be on Bedouins. Smells like crickets taste like chicken. Tastes like chicken. That they were predicting the future. They're indeed predicting the future with that. At least update my capture age to say best of 5 in finals. Alright, still in the lobby, waiting for them to get started. Lewis and Barles have faced each other quite a bit. I think both recently in the John Slow tournaments. Barles winning in Heaven and Hell, Lewis winning in Sudden Disaster. So it should be a good matchup between the two of them. Barles always has some creative strategies up his sleeve. It looks like literally everyone is streaming right now, so we'll see how we do. At least on Twitch, 69 viewers, nice. I still need to add the Twitch and YouTube viewers together. One day I'll do that. I need to look at how the APIs work and actually read them myself instead of relying on plugins. Stream Elements is helpful, but only goes so far. From east to the west. Lewis has some PC issues. Will restart and try to join the lobby again. Okay. Lewis needing to take care of his PC. Like I said, he has a lot of tournament sets today. He needs to make sure he's ready and raring to go. And looks like he's there. All right, we'll have Bedouins as game number 1. And no delay, they're getting right into it. And all right, let's go. It's time for the finals. Barles, he likes picking purple, but I'll put him in the red so we can see him. We'll have Lewis in the blue playing as the Gajurs, and Barles in the red playing as the Koreans. The map shall be a Bedouins. 9 vills start, all the vills and all the goats converging upon those starting TC locations. Lewis will find only one shorefish, which can be kind of annoying, but a TC with stone and wood on a pond. Barles a bit... really only one shorefish from 2 right next to the TC. He does have access to 2, though. Won't have the stone, but we'll have a few nice ponds he can mill and go to, as well as a bit of wood. And Barles always picks purple, but the problem is purple and blue are not visible against each other. The purple and yellow we had earlier in the Viper set was wonderful against Barles, but Lewis is not a color picker. He's almost always playing in blue. So the finals now will be a best of 5, up from the best of 3s we had earlier. And there'll be some wild camels just for some scenery around the map. Now Bedouins is the map used in LY, the LY Cup right now. A bit different than African Clearings, even though African Clearing is based on it. You don't have elephants, you have boars to lure, so not quite as much food as the elephants. And there are no hills, it's all flat desert. Go Barles, hello dumb cube. I feel like we need to turn the cube mod on for you. Yeah, Vinch also picks purple. Purple's a popular color pick. That's what I was told when I hosted the Age of Queens Cartographers tournament, that it was a good thing some of the maps required set colors to pick the position, because otherwise everyone would have been fighting over the color purple. Which makes sense. I mean, purple is a lovely color. Real Age of Empires players, though, they know to pick cyan. They know about the glory and majesty that is the color cyan. A bit of walling from Barles, actually more than a bit, a lot of walling from Barles, as he might look to keep his entire corner safe. Downside is there won't actually be gold in the corner, despite all of the walling he's doing. So that's quite a bit of investment into those walls, just to have no safe gold. Lewis a bit farther towards the middle will find it harder to wall, but at least we'll have gold access. And pretty good gold at that, could maybe wall to the edge there. Now you don't necessarily have to go to the edge for a lumber camp. You can take the wood in the middle. I'm gonna say there's a bit more wood than there is on African Clearing, although it may be a bit deceptive because the baobab trees have twice the wood as a normal tree. It still feels like a bigger clump. We'll have Feudal Age on the way for Lewis, he'll be the first one up. As the Gajurs, if he's looking to go forward, then the walls from Barles will be a good deterrent. I don't think the Gajurs will fast castle on 19 pop, especially without any gold. Each color reminds you of at least one color except for gray. I tend to associate gray with Jordan, just because I remember him using that back in some of the old Tyrant games. In their Tyrant Wars, where it was 4v4 and someone had to be gray. I remember Jordan being gray pocket, and being one of the originators of going scouts as the pocket. He'd be Mongols and go scouts. That was back in the days when everyone would go FC Knights as the pocket. Yeah, most people dislike the gray color. It's probably the hardest one to see. There is no scenario or no campaign where you play gray. Unless that's changed since I last checked. All the other colors were used by AOC. Cyan, you were in the Japanese scenario in Kyoto. Purple, you were the Turks in Manzikert. Orange, of course, you were Genghis Khan. Yellow, you were the Huns. Blue, used everywhere. William Wallace, Joan of Arc. Green, Saladin. Red, Barbarossa. I think that covers it. I had a great build with the Vikings for FC Pocket Knights. Yeah, I remember that. You do FC Pocket Knights as Vikings, and it wouldn't be horrible despite the lack of bloodlines because of how good your economy was. So slower up from Barles. Lewis will scout that. Lewis going scouts. Won't be able to apply much pressure, though. Yeah, massive walls for, as we pointed out, no gold access. And there's Barles up to feudal. And he'll be doing a market and probably a blacksmith right behind that. So market, blacksmith, fast castle for Barles. Orange. Our orange is backed. Our orange will always be backed. Andy can pick it, but backed, picking orange, and pausing every game. That's what I'm going to associate with orange forever. So stone walls for Barles, playing like he's playing a game of Rage Forest, getting stone walled in the corner. And that's a lot of stone wall investment now for no gold. The only corner that doesn't have some gold. That can be one of the problems with Bedouins when, you know, it's random, but you don't get your randomness in your favor in the corner. It's fine, skirms don't cost gold. Emu with the facts. I mean, he is Korean, so he'll have discounted skirms. And he won't need gold. How you doing, Emu? Hope you're having a lovely day filled with white feather guards. Yeah, that gold spawn really is unfortunate. And hello, noob, how you doing? Trump should be good versus slow-firing war wagons? Potentially. Potentially. They do have their magic shields to absorb the war wagon bolts. I do feel like once you get enough war wagons, they still win anyway. They have so much hit point, or war wagons have so many hit points that in a fight against the Trevamsh Riders with such low attack, it's hard for them to destroy the war wagons before their shield and their magic runs out. How many sheep for Lewis? He has 10 goats in the mill. And another 7+ goats back at his TC. So lots of sheep for Lewis. And Barles adding in another TC. You can see how Lewis is super far ahead in terms of the resources he has. Bowsaw and Light Cav on the way. Just came back from a business trip and ready to watch some AoE 2. Oh, that sounds lovely. I'm doing pretty well. I need to actually plan my TwitchCon travel for next month. That's on my to-do list. And double monastery for Lewis as the Gajurs. He can start picking up relics. And he is going to anticipate monks versus war wagons. So a few scouts out, making sure the castle doesn't come forward on him. He'll be ready for a monk defense. Only one mill on Bedouins? You were thinking he'd have multiple mills and putting sheep in all of them? Maybe he needs to do a back mill and run the herdables into it to keep him safe from the war wagons. We'll run over here, do an outpost. Blacksmith. Always lovely how the blacksmith graphics overflow its collision box. Now Sanctity on the way for Lewis. Another TC for Barles, so Barles will be on 3 TCs. Lewis on only 2. But Lewis grabbing relics. 1 relic will be inside of Barles' walls. But Lewis should have no problem grabbing at least 3, if not 4. It does have that 4th on the side. And great outposting from Lewis. Wherever I look, Lewis has outposts. He's doing more on the sides, and he always has map vision. And Town Watch is in. So always prepared to see everything you can on the map. Well, both monks use their monk juice on a war wagon. Is their devotion? No devotion, but Barles getting lucky. East Asian architecture designs are pretty deceiving. You thought you're fully walled, and then the next second they squeak by. Yep. Have happened when Orlu and I played that 2v1 against Terra. Thought I was wall on arena. But nope, that blacksmith overflowing its graphics next to a house that had the bamboo on the side and looked walled. I was not. We still won that game, though. So it's fine. That was almost a Titanic. And so a rocket cart from Barles. As like have in the back, we'll go for the war wagon. Potentially a war wagon will force them away. Monks here want a conversion. Those guys look more like they're gonna club something than they are. Look like a monk to me. I don't know. These guys don't strike me as monks. Even with their pitchforks. It's a guard tower not in range of the Mangonel. Has neither Fletching nor Bodkin, and that'll let the Mangonel get some shots on the TC for the moment. Here it's a house, so it will indeed be 4 relics for Lewis. Mangonel dodges the rocket cart, but we'll have to go back for repairs. Alright, hello, Tenacious Chipmunk. Is that game on YouTube? I think it's on Ornlu's YouTube. If you mean that one where we 2v1 Terra. It's definitely on Ornlu's YouTube. It was a 2v1, but like, we would obviously win a 2v1 if it was a fair game, so we had to have a 2-minute delay at the start. So like, we each waited 2 minutes before then playing 2v1 against Terra. And Kajurs do have redemption. They do have redemption. That makes their monks quite potent and is a great boost to their elephant push if Lewis would want to go elephants. Since you can convert the rocket carts that would otherwise attack the elephants. And what is this? We have a siege tower from Barles, a siege tower with fire lancers. Okay, Barles has got something cooking. Oh, he's pushing a camel. Where's he going? He's paddling around the castle, trying to hide it. Stay behind the walls. Like, Lewis, you can't see me. Lewis is up to imp. He's up to imp. And that TC is still being mangonelled. And the fire lancers are there. They're deployed. They're picking the monks. They're getting the mangonels. 1 mangonel down. A few monks going down. A couple of conversions coming in. That'll be another mangonel that dies. All the monks are going to be cleared. And the siege tower has worked. The siege tower fire lancers have worked. Remember, these are discounted for the Koreans. And this worked. Barles bought himself a bit of time, maybe a bit of map presence now. There'll be a castle from Lewis. Barles, remember, he still does not have gold access. And Lewis has outposts on all the gold, so Barles, anything he's doing for gold has to be from the market now. He will keep coming forward with more towers, though. But I imagine it's Imp and then Trebs, and Trebs should be able to help deal with the towers. And Barles, nice play, but nowhere near Imp. You like those monks? They're like a crazy homeless guy with a booze cup. That is what they remind me of, and it doesn't look like a monk. Doesn't look like a monk to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not used to them yet, but they don't look like monks to me. Now here's Lewis almost to Imp. Fire Lancer over by the gold. "85% accuracy" feels like 20% accuracy in practice. I think it's 80% accuracy, but yeah, it does feel much worse than that. With their large attack dispersion, the missed shots tend to miss, actually. Maybe with the dispersion, it's more like 85%. It does feel like they miss towers a lot, indeed. Maybe a time to build walls and do some defensive walls against Trebs to absorb the missed shots. So he's packing the Treb, not going for the tower completely. Ram is for... Oh, he wants to convert the tower! Oh, let's go! Let's go! YOLO the monks forward, convert the tower. He has redemption. Force Barles to delete it. Oh, Barles is gonna send Vils to try to fight. He deletes the tower. Let's go. Let's go. Might need a chakram or two to deal with the... Vils, how did chakrams do against Fire Lancers? I've never seen that before. Although Fire Lancers are OP, maybe they still win that somehow. And castle coming up forward for Lewis. He has the Trebs. Fire Lancers will come from the siege tower. Monks won't be able to defend against this since they can just pop in the siege tower and break conversions. Here goes a nice volley of Treb shots on the tower. Monks trying to stop the conversions. Yeah, units hopping back in, but there are the chakram throwers, and here come the bombard cannons to deal with that TC. Barles did TC a gold, so he finally has gold access, and he is up to Imp, just about to hit. There he is. He's trying to TC another gold. One chakram still chasing. Yeah, Fire Lancers with their charged attack. Doing well against the chakrams. We'll see if we ever get a big fight who comes out on top. As the TC goes down. And the cannons go for the workshop. Cannons go for the workshop. Hit the mining camp too. Weak for Barles a bit. As the cannons keep going for the castle, Oopsiong on the way. That will give the towers more range. And there it is, but Barles still needs Bodkin, or needs Bodkin and Bracer to get the full range on the towers, as his castle crumbles. Now he is raiding, he's trying to do a Fire Lancer siege tower raid. Lewis tries to wall that to trap it a bit. He's trying to get Fire Lancers raiding on the side. Lewis hasn't garrisoned there. Lewis doing some raiding of his own, though, trying to hit the mines with some light cav. Potentially get to Hussars. Barles up in Vils. He's still up 20 Vils, but now being pressured and losing a lot. Losing a lot to Lewis's push. There goes a TC. He's lost the castle. That TC could be hit. This TC could be hit. In fact, hitting this TC and getting those Vils could be valuable. A couple of Fire Lancers still raiding here from Barles. Maybe the Fire Lancer raids can get Barles into the game again as the Siege Tower goes down to some Vils. And right now, Lewis doesn't have a way to fight these Fire Lancers. He'll have to run his Vils. Where's Barles' army? Barles' army is small groups of Fire Lancers raiding, or it's Fire Lancers in the Siege Tower. Can the cannons get an attack ground there? Cannons kind of need to take out the Siege Tower. And they do, and they do. Monks want conversions now. Cannon's getting some hits, a couple of conversions coming in. And that army of Fire Lancers mostly going down. But low HP now. Low HP is all you need to fight monks. Cannon's relying on getting shots. They're getting a hit here and there. Okay, slowly but surely taking down the Fire Lancer numbers, but Lewis will need more chakram throwers. Trying to do more farms in the back. And it's more Fire Lancers for Barles, trying to make Fire Lancers. This unit is insane. Even fighting the chakram thrower. Barles now floating a bit of gold. That maybe tried to overcorrect for that lack of gold he had earlier. As the keep now with Upsiong, but still remember no full range, doesn't have the blacksmith upgrades. Only 11 range instead of 13, so the bombard cannons, even without siege engineers, will still outrange the keeps. This really needs more chakrams. These Fire Lancers everywhere kind of being annoying, and that tower will be annoying. Ooh, towers like that can be super annoying. Barles spreading out, trying to take more side resources. Lewis, at least with his outposts, will be aware of this. He'll be aware of this if he can actually spot it. But Barles will try to be annoying with another keep. He's going to keep on pushing. Fire Lancers starting to go down. Lewis still needs a good mass of chakram throwers. And ooh, that Vil domed by 4 bombard cannons. Poor villager. And you just forget, I think he's having problems affording it. Look at his farming eco, he barely has any farms. He has 13 farms, many of which I think are idle or so far from a mill that they're very inefficient. One big fight here with the chakrams against the Fire Lancers. Monks are there to convert. Or else his Vil's trying to run out there. But he now has towers up on both sides of Lewis's eco. Trying to be annoying and control Lewis's golds. And ooh, okay, this is where the chakrams might shine. Now the chakrams are there in numbers. Now they're there in numbers. The Fire Lancers losing HP, getting whittled down. And the chakrams are doing it. They're doing it finally. You have a defensive cannon there from Barles of the Koreans. And the chakrams do not want to stand under the tower. Okay, that's a lot of dead chakrams all of a sudden. Okay, Lewis no longer has the chakram numbers that he needed. Oh, oh, we would have denied Bracer. One more cannon volley. Or Bracer's in. That's going to make the keeps extra deadly now against the Gujar cannons. Lewis wants conversions, but can he get enough chakrams to deal with the Fire Lancers again? Might need to get even elite chakram soon. So Lewis was pushing, but very quickly the turntables. And now Lewis is on the defensive thanks to all of Barles' keeps. Oh, Barles will get more keeps in the back. He's making his way towards the wood line. Does he have murder holes? Where is that? No, he doesn't have murder holes. He does at least have treadmill crane. He still needs arrow slits. Ooh, arrow slits would be huge. He's got cannons pushing Lewis's castle, and it felt like Lewis was in a great spot earlier, but the Fire Lancers have let Barles hang on as the Koreans. And it's looking like Barles now with a 20-ville lead might just be able to take game one, despite being walled in a corner at the start with no gold access. It's not over yet though. Lewis is still trying to fight with the cannons. If Lewis could ever establish a decent farming eco, would have some great hussars, especially if he got his unique tech to make them cheaper, but does not have Kshatriyas yet. So it's good that Barles eventually realized he needed Vodka and Embracer, but he needs to recognize he needs the university techs now, especially arrow slits. And Cannon's trying to take out that keep before it goes up. Maybe they'll succeed. At the same time, though, the castle being pressured. And the cannons can't really defend it with the keeps defending these cannons. So lots of repairs on this castle from Lewis. There are still raids everywhere. And where's that murder holes you were talking about? Barles trying to wall in his tower. Architecture on the way for Barles. And those vills will knock down those towers. As we head back here, no more stone for repairing for Lewis. Barles will treb this castle, treb the workshop. And this might be GG soon. The treb goes for the TC. And vills go for the treb. You have the old AoE2 version, pre-DE, and back then Arrow Slits was in Castle Age and a bit cheaper. That was in the African Kingdoms expansion. They definitely changed that later on. But yeah, we had that old tournament. It was, I think, Tato versus Melkor was the finals. Game 7 on Arabia, and they both picked Koreans and Trushed for the Castle Age Arrow Slits. Murder Holes is in. Does he have it? Murder Holes is in. Arrow Slits is in. Architecture's in. Those are fully upgraded Korean keeps. I guess they still could use, what is it? They could use Faith so that they're converted more slowly. Otherwise, they're fully upgraded Korean keeps. Treb going for that tower. Mill's trying to fight cannons. That's never a good spot to be in when you're fighting cannons and they're being repaired. Treb goes down. And there's the GG, and Barles takes game number 1. Lewis finally losing a game. And a very competitive game of Bedouins, but Barles holds on just long enough to take it as the Koreans. 191 kills to 95. Lewis did not have an answer to the Fire Lancers. Tried to get chakrams out, but couldn't deal with chakrams underneath the Korean keeps. And huge imp timing. Lewis wasn't able to get a push with it. I'll update the scoreboard. That's 1-0 for Barles. Koreans over Gajurs. And that'll be Barles winning Bedouins. And looks like Barles is hosting a lobby. Lewis is there. And let's go. Oh, did Barles mess up hyper-random settings? Guten Tag, Herr West, wie geht es dir? Ist eine Weile hier, dass ich Zeit hatte, den Stream zu schauen. Hello, Langsander. Doing pretty well. Glad to have you here. Decisive was selected 2 times in a row. Replayed the second against a top 5 player with like 900 elo. Do you sprichst Deutsch? Yes, I do. Not particularly well, but I can at least get around. Best of 5 finals, right? Yes, best of 5 finals. And peak Koreans. So finally we get to see Lookout. Lookout is a map with lots of outposts, as you might imagine. This will be Lewis's home map. Here we have Barles as the red Vietnamese against Lewis as the blue Hindustanis. And in addition, you have an army tent, a barracks, a watchtower, and a mule cart over on the side. Mule cart you get regardless of civ. You don't have to be Armenians or Georgians. You just have the mule cart. And we'll have some houses going up at the front. One house for Lewis, and he'll walk over to the fruit bushes. I love how this game's community has endured and grown over 2 decades. Hello, Tornado Watch. I used to have to watch out for tornadoes when I lived in the Midwest. All the buses when I took the buses in Wisconsin, they had instructions for what to do in case of a tornado. The instructions were basically leave the bus and go find a ditch. And then when the tornado passed, the bus would run again. You're coming, watch out. So, synchronized looms for these players, each with 1 second of TC idle time. And looks like they're both clicking up on 18 vils. So Hindustanis, Vietnamese, pretty good ecos for both of them. The Vietnamese will have those cheaper eco upgrades. Hindustanis will have cheaper vils. Players try to drush and it never works out. Well, you could be tempted to because you start with the barracks. You can understand where the temptation might spawn from. So what do you think in chat in the Civ matchup? Vietnamese, Hindustanis. Imp Skirms, I think, are one of the scariest 1v1 units in the game. And Vietnamese will have them. Strong Civ, says John. I think they are fairly strong too. What are these things? Like, whoa, weapon racks. You can grab a long pole arm in those racks. Endgame Vietnamese until that Hindustanis. Okay. Hindustanis will have some good raids late game, at least with the fully upgraded Hussars. And on a map this open, that can matter. Then we'll have a double bit axe on the way for Lewis. And ooh, some quick walls. Is this Lewis or is this Viper? Now, Viper lost already. This is Lewis, and he's trapping Barles' scout. Alright, he'll trap that scout and can kill it whenever he wants now. Hello, Red Cliffy. Needs another wall there. Get it into a smaller and smaller location. Barles will force the gate to get a bit more HP added to it. Oh, he could escape, actually. Wall might need a bit more HP. There it goes. And ooh, spear from behind. Spear from behind. And pokes down the scout from Barles. There he goes. There he goes. That's what Lewis wanted. Nice delete to get the spear in. And Barles will keep running circles around to try to avoid the spear. Or he'll just get poked down. Never mind. Never mind. And Lewis will be walling up himself. Lewis with a couple of scouts. Both players going scouts will have an archer transition here from Barles. Archery range all the way at home, though. Poor scout. Poor scout indeed. A spear coming over as the scouts still run around. You start with a mule cart. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Barles is a strong player if the brackets don't throw ACCM at him first round. Same thing with Nikov. He's a strong player if the brackets don't throw Viper at him first round. Hindustanis will win with Eco and Castle Age if not interrupted. Okay, I'm not going to sleep on the Vietnamese economy though. I think they actually have a rather nice Eco bonus. Is he Barles' Bane? Is that just a playstyle that matches up well for ACCM? Archer should be able to stop the scouts from breaking through the palisade. Barles will use only one archer for that. Don't have a good answer to Elephant Halb. That's true. I think Hindustani can struggle against elephants because they lost their halbs. They no longer have halbs, they only have pikemen. And camels themselves don't have the same attack bonus against elephants that halbs do. So Hindustanis actually can struggle against elephants. It's a big if, though, because elephants are expensive, and Barles would need to get to them, but maybe he does. As I knock over my bottle of water on the floor. Some walling from Barles to keep his vills safe on the mule cart. Hand cannoneers for red elephants? I wouldn't think so. I think elephants have enough hit points they can stand up to hand cannoneers. How much gold is there compared to Arabia? Lots of neutral golds in the middle. But I think players themselves only have one main gold, so you have to go farther out to grab your golds. So I guess less main gold than Arabia, more neutral golds. Or less player gold, more map golds. I don't know if there's any rhyme or reason to the placement of the 3 piles. I think every player then gets 3 piles of gold here. And then a couple of piles of 2 gold spread around. You'll have a 3 gold by your camp. Barles admitted about ACCM being his bane in a meme video. Barles has really stepped up his meme video game. 5 + 4 + 4 per player on Arabia. 5 + 4 + 4, and then there are 2 neutral groups at 3. So if you want to call it 16 per player, then sure. Or 7 + 4 + 4 and 2 neutral, yeah. Or three tiles and neutral gold. The gold's in 3 tiles. Those are like 18 then per player if you want to split up the neutral golds. Yeah, main is 7. Main is 7. Main stone is 5. Main gold is 7. How many tiles are on this map? 42. Oop. 42. I can't zoom out. Apparently that gave me a waiting for players message. So let's be careful. So you have 7, then 3 times 4, so 12, and 7 is 19 per player, and then 2 extra, so we'll say 21 per player if we split the neutrals, so 42. Matches the math we just did. Whenever he doesn't lose 4 to 6 vills and feudal from underreactions. Okay. Okay, well hopefully this won't be an underreaction from him, as Barles is coming forward with a large group of archers ready to turn them soon into crossbows, and Lewis will be there ready and waiting with some skirms. Scouts on the backside too, Lewis wanting elite skirm. He's just going to take the fight as well as he can. Barles has to retreat from this. Lewis going to wait for elite skirm to get as close as he can, maybe? At least he waited for Bodkin. This is where he really wants to use that ranged advantage he'll have until Bodkin comes in for the archers. And are the scouts... Ooh, they're not going to be able to hold open the gate. Lewis might have wanted to do that. At least he will force a workshop up from Barles, and while Barles is doing the workshop, Lewis will be adding in 1, 2 extra TCs for a total of 3. He's in castle and hasn't lost a vill, so this should be peak Lewis. Can we ACCM in a tournament again? Hello, Bin Zero. Good morning. Ooh, it's afternoon now. Wow, it's afternoon already. I haven't even been streaming for all that long, but it feels like time's just been flying. I guess almost 3 hours means that it has been quite a bit. This is Fujiko is in shambles. Doesn't have that many farms, it's true. Still has a score lead, but I think Lewis will pull ahead very quickly in vills now, even doing wheelbarrow. Barles hitting the skirms. The skirm has to run away. We'll have some camels for Lewis. Hindustanis, of course, love their camels, and we'll have a forward workshop from him, too. Still with that tower surviving on the initial outpost. A couple of scouts from Barles hoovering. Once again, Lewis feels like he's in a lead with an early game civ that maybe has some questions late game. We'll see if it's 3 TC versus 1 for much longer. I'll see if we actually get to the late game to answer those questions. Now the crossbows come forward with the mangonels going for the outposts. Ooh. Barles going to play some William Wallace campaign and knock down the outposts. Great for the Mangonel Wars to clear the outposts. And decent hit on some skirms. Mangonel will survive. Almost midnight in Vietnam for you, about 10 minutes, and it's a new day already. Yeah, that's when I played 2v2s with ACCM. We were a good 12 hours apart. Made scheduling a nightmare. So, Monk carrying a relic here for Lewis. He'll get some repairs on the Mangonel. Crossbows come forward. Mangonel will get a hit on the camel. Camels and spear go down. Just remembered about Gulams. I mean, he goes to the stone for a defensive castle. And Gulam should be able to shut this down. Ooh, Mangonel for Barles goes down. Both Mangonels go down. And Lewis keeps his Mangonels all alive. Great Mangonel micro from Lewis. Barles with a couple of scouts, one of which is low. The skirm should be able to keep the Mangonels safe from those. And Barles now wants a forward stable. Still on 2 TCs to Lewis's 3, and he's down 15 vills. Am I happy with my 5080? I am very much so, yes. I have had absolutely no problems streaming in 4K. Well, I have had problems because of capture age, but those are capture age issues. Maybe I'll have to get a 5090 and go up to 32 gigabytes of VRAM. We need a lot of subs for that. But I'm happy with it. I'm able to do AV1 encoding, which was the main reason I wanted to upgrade my GPU, and I'm more than thrilled with it. He went from 4+ hours to 20-ish. the 4070 Ti. Yes, it's been a nice upgrade from my 3070 Ti. Ooh, don't mangonel your own skirms, but take out all the crossbows, and Barles is going to lose his entire army and then be down 20 vills. So I think this is the time to shine for Lewis. One knight from the rear might take out the 3 mangonels. Don't attack around your own mangonels. Attack around the knight somehow. One mangonel getting poked down by a vill. Lewis has lost a bit of vision with the outposts going down. We'll lose another outpost. And we have a TC with gold coming in for Barles. Hey, Rip Knight, you were a hero. And oh, some crossbows getting in. They will get in through either an overchop or just not walling a hole. Lewis will have to get skirms to deal with them. We'll get a mangonel in the back to deal with them. And Imp on the way actually clicked first for Barles, so he is down almost 30 vills, but he's up to Imp. Is he going to Imp soon? He is going to Imp now, clicking up. Nice mangonel shot on the crossbows. Yeah, very low idle TC times, especially from having added the TCs in first. Maybe the big mistake was letting that knight pick off those mangonels from that lone stable. Spear wants to poke down the outpost. As mangonels come forward, we'll have a castle going up. Castle going up for Lewis. Ooh, that meal cart. I've seen units do that a lot in the new pathing patch. They jiggle a bit. And kind of get stuck determining their facing direction. There's Imp on the way for Lewis. Good news for Lewis is that Barles isn't on skirm yet. That's true, Barles not making the best unit in the game yet. What are these dots? Outposts. Outposts everywhere for every player. Man, look at their vision with all of these outposts. Oh, that's a lot of mangonels. A lot of mangonels for Lewis. That means you could lose a lot in one shot. Oh, gets the clear Well, there we go. Loses 2 mangonels in one shot. That's what I was worried about. Gets a nice hit on the crossbows, though. We'll keep chasing and try to get another one. Loses a 3rd mangonel. Gets a few crossbows. Ooh, I think that was a better fight all in all for Barles. But he can't just take better fights. He has to take great fights when he's this far down in eco. So, I think maybe a bit of sloppy micro there. Do that better and you probably keep another mangonel alive if you're Lewis. Have chemistry on the way for Barles. Chainmail and Imp, and it is Gulam time. Gulams. For Lewis. Okay, okay. Gulams. Do I run automated test insufficient spec? What I do is there are things called actor areas, as we'll have a doubt castle from Lewis, where when you place an object on a map, you can give it a radius, like 5 tiles of a square around it. It was meant for Empire Wars, for something like, when you place a lumber camp on a wood line, place 4 vills within 2 tiles of the lumber camp. Not only can you place stuff in the square, you could also have stuff avoid the square. So like I could place down a patch of berries, then say make sure the deer are 10 tiles away from the berries. When I place objects, I can then give them an actor area so large it covers the entire map. And what I do is I then say I make some units like saboteurs, and I cover the entire map in saboteurs, but tell them to avoid that actor area, as the Golams can't break in. So if something doesn't spawn, then I see that the map is covered with another object, and I can immediately know something's wrong. And then I'll set that up, and then I'll have an auto-clicker click the button to generate maps over and over and over in the editor. And I'll just record my screen in OBS, and if I see something's wrong, I'll have the map seed. And depending on how quickly the map generates, sometimes I can generate the map several times a second. Sometimes a map takes a few seconds to generate. That'll determine the number of cases I'm able to run in a few minutes while watching my screen. So sometimes I can run checks like that, yes. And then sometimes if there are like very rare bugs that I can't eliminate fully, I'll leave the saboteurs in, and I'll give them 0 HP and a large attack radius, so they'll explode and auto-defeat players as an immediate admin re. And it needs to click twice because the button is bugged. Yes, death counter, indeed. It needs to click twice. I've had a bug report on the forums about that for years that I think it has probably a response that says they've added it to their tracker. Which is more than useless of a response. As someone who's done software development, trust me, having something on your tracker is meaningless. So Lewis pushing out with Trebs, and he, with 141 to 108 villager population, has a huge eco advantage. And you can see that in how he's able to get more Trebs and siege out early on. Skirm win. Well, so far, so good for the Skirms, but maybe they'll run into Imp Skirms soon. Or Castle from Lewis trying to claim this area on the lookout post. You'll be able to do a mining camp and start mining some gold there. What remains from after that mule cart. Or Castle from Barles trying to claim a forward gold at the front of his base. Why is he spamming arbs against the skirm so much? So Barles is trying to go for a double gold composition and get Cavalier plus Arbalests, where the Cavaliers will deal with the skirms. And he'll have arbs against the Gulams, which elite Gulams still take 2 damage from arbs. And here come the Cavaliers trying to take the fight, and we see the effectiveness of the Cavaliers in that fight. And the herbs are there, they can dance with the skirms a bit and be used against the cannons. So nice fight from Barles, maybe getting himself back into the game a bit. Still down by over 10,000 resources collected. Yeah, it's not pure Arb, he's trying to make a combo. And then he also has bombard cannons to help deal with skirms too. Doesn't believe in skirm theory. Although I do agree, if you're playing Vietnamese, I think you do want to make a break towards Imp Skirm at some point. Who's now grabbing more gold control. Blast Furnace and Heavy Camel on the way for Lewis. And ooh, Gulam's raiding. Barles didn't get fully walled, maybe overchopped. Yeah, it had a hole and then an overchop. And the Gulams are in, they're in on the economy, hitting the Vils. And that's gonna be devastating. He has nothing at home to deal with this. Absolutely nothing at home to deal with it. His Arbalests, that's it. You'll have to send Light Cav. This will be mighty annoying. And look at all the idle Vils he has as he's trying to clean up the Gulams. And there's Imp Camel on the way for Lewis. So Barles not giving up. He's going to be fighting Imp Camel with Cavaliers. That'll be good for the Imp Camels once the upgrade comes in. And big fight with skirms and cannons. Camel's there to keep the cannons safe from the light cav. And Barles lost Vils, but is keeping pace in military so far at least. And the Arabs there will be great at shredding the camels. They will be, as the Trebs go for the workshop. Go for some stables, try to clear the remaining buildings over here. And Lewis will be able to finish off that gold mine. Armor on the way for the camels, and Light Cav won't be able to jump the Trebs thanks to the camels. They'll have to turn and run. Lewis's siege, and now Lewis's push can be maybe on the next castle? Nothing really down here. Lewis still has his tower in line of sight on this part of the map, still has gold in his coffers to mine. Or on his field to mine, put into his coffers. Bears on the cannons on their way. The Vil trying to pass to the cannon. Cannons. See, Lewis could control group the cannons and go for the mining camp, but Barles will call the GG. He will call the GG as the camels push in. And he's getting raided everywhere. Literally everywhere. Has to wall to keep the Gulams out, and Lewis ties it up 1-1. So nice. Or to keep the camels out. Nicely done from Lewis. And I think it was kind of decided in that feudal to castle transition when Barles went for the workshop and Lewis added the TCs. Lewis got the eco advantage and then was able to defend from everything Barles tried to push with. Barles struggled a bit to get back into the game after that. No skirm war, that's true. Hello, Sunnyflower. How you doing? That's Lewis winning a lookout. Hopefully we'll get arena now. And we'll be in the lobby for the next game. Oh, Tornado Watch, thank you very much for using your Prime sub. Thank you, appreciate the support. That puts us at an even 200 subs. Yeah, Lewis was up to castle first with map control. Maybe Barles' best move was also to boom, but I think he loses that too. Maybe. But, you know, if he booms, then maybe he's not as far behind when they hit Imp. And then maybe the Vietnamese late game can come into play. You never know. It's hard to tell. But in a map when they're that far apart, Lewis made a great read in saying that he had time to go for the TCs before really committing to a fight. Tricky to go for an early siege push with all the outposts. That too, it's easily scouted, and the outposts are there for the defender in the mangonel fights. How are you? I'm doing okay. How are you? Oh, and Duck's Brun, thank you for the Prime sub. Thank you all for using your Primes. We're also closing in on 14,000 followers. So here we are. We'll put Barles once more in the red. And it will be Chicken Arena. Chicken Arena. And the sad version with low HP walls, so we might see tower rushes. But we'll probably also see some funneling action. Lewis already with a wall and a spot that could be used as a funnel. Maybe a diagonal gate right through the chickens, and then a bit of walling to get them in. Closer to the weekend. Weekend is always good. Let's go, Lewis. What is today? Is today Thursday? Yes, today's Thursday. Only 6 chicken, question mark. Yes. It can be between 6 and 8 chickens. 6, 7, or 8, and it's the same for both players. Let's see, Barles would have an interesting funnel. He could do it like from the house to the lumber camp, maybe. The Vills might just push the chickens back themselves. He wouldn't need the scout, perhaps. Maybe their walks will just take him back to the TC. Okay, and we do have a funnel. Yes, we have it. We have Barles making a funnel for his chickens to go back to the TC. Wonderful. Always love seeing some good funnel action. I've been told the podcasts, and by told I mean I just saw a tweet. The GL podcast someone asked about earlier will be back in mid-October. So I guess they're taking a brief hiatus. So horse collar on the way from Lewis. And yet someone mentioned earlier that the berries do now have graphics. As you take the berries, they visually decrease in size a bit. You can see as I just got down to 80 food, got a bit smaller. So yeah, something you can pay attention to if you're worried about over chopping or over foraging. And Civ is the best Burgundian Portuguese. This is a pretty even arena matchup. Two of the better arena civs. Burgundians probably with more of a boom, Portuguese more of a organ gun imp approach. Could add Vitorias. Bill's on stone already, so this indicates maybe we're going to have organ guns from Barles. And feudal on the way first for Barles. So 24 pop up, looks like a fast castle, no one tower rushing. You are honestly pretty far away from each other on this version of the map. Well, you could go take the foxes. Get a bit of gold if you wanted to trush. So Lewis moving over to gold. He'll be up slower on 25 pop. So 25 versus 24 pop. Feels like a boom for both players. Lewis already with double vid axe and horse collar in the Dark Age, getting his farms up. Both have their own infinite gold tricks with Vittorias and with Burgundian vineyards. You do need wood for farms, it's true, maybe less infinite. Although the Burgundians, they do have redemption. They could convert Vittorias, and then they both have infinite resources. So chicken, there he goes, funneling right to the TC, Barles. On top of that, and what a great funnel this was. Nice and compact, a gate and 3 tiles of palisade, and it's perfect. Market blacksmith afterwards, no problem, he'll delete it. Recover the wood. And get his buildings going. There is feudal on the way, and we'll have a market and blacksmith going up also for Lewis, as he will be fast castling with a barracks but no stable, so this might be spears and monks for him. Both of these very good monk civs. No heresy though for the Burgundians. So I'd say Portuguese probably have the advantage in their monk techs. Also, their monks are cheaper. Do I ever make up stories for why they're fighting? I never have. Although that is an interesting idea. Come up with a fake history for how they got to Arena and what they're doing here. So both players up to Castle Bosa on the way for Lewis. I'll get that upgrade added in on his way up. Would love if he were to do like a greedy heavy plow or 2-man saw, but we're probably not going to see that. I like sneaking them in, but yeah, it is greedy. Lewis just long distance taking his chickens instead of funneling. No fun with funnels for Lewis. And meanwhile, Barles is forward, and this is what we see is the Portuguese. He's going for the castle drop. Oh, let's go. He's 10 seconds away from being up. And with his own spears, should have no problem fighting the spears of Lewis. And immediately he's going to get his vills walled so that they're not harassed. That vill can't quite reach that foundation, so he's almost walled. That'll be good enough to get the castle up, I think. Spears won't be able to harass anything here. There he goes. He does tap that, and he'll do a monastery next. Good call from Barles. He read the matchup well. And it'll be double monastery defense, though, from Lewis. Honestly, I feel like Redemption monks defend organ guns really well. What Lewis has to do here is try to prevent Barles from getting 5 relics. It's Portuguese with a monk discount 5 relics. Barles will be able to mine the gold out there. It should be in a decent spot. Yeah, the castle's pretty nice. We have organ guns coming out. Castle needs to attack the walls and break in. You can't re-garrison organ guns once they're out, right? I'm thinking maybe it would have been better to keep it inside for the moment to give the castle more arrows. Yeah, Lewis can't boom now. He does, however, have his eco upgrades in for cheap, and will do redemption, has a back gold and back stone. So in a great position to defend this push, I think. And personally, I always do like redemption monks against organ guns. He's already getting a few out and getting upgrades. There's redemption. Yeah, I mean, that's what the forward castle can do. You can market your way to a faster imp. But I don't think you're going to push with the organ guns against someone doing a double monk defense. So scout versus scout, they're both lowering each other's HP. Slight advantage for Barles. And Lewis would love to pick off more monks with his scout. But it will go down to the organ gun. And the scout does survive for Barles, which means it can be healed. And also it'll still be able to pick off monks of Lewis. As the monks will come out through the gate, and we'll have Atonement on the way for Barles. Atonement will let him convert monks. So next up will have to be Atonement, Fervor, and Devotion, so that your monks are harder to convert, move faster, and can either run away or trace down monks, and then Atonement to convert monks in the first place. So one player doing a tech kind of triggers the other player needing to do it too, and there's Atonement there for Lewis. And we should be able to get a Relic. That's 3 already, though, for Barles. And looking at the mini-map, he's probably picked up a 4th. Yep, he'll bring it home. He'll bring it home. Not going to leave it in the forward monastery. We'll just bring it home for now. Is a straight imp into Victorious? He could. Definitely is an option. But still, he's a good ways away from imp. And he's collecting stone, which makes me think his plan will be for another forward castle. And then we have Atonement for Lewis. He swaps targets and converts the monk. Here's the Vil going forward for the outpost, and we're almost at the stone Barles will need. We have 7 Vils forward. There's a good number of monks, though, that could convert the castle building Vils. Barles would need to take a fight to clear them out. As the organs keep hoovering around. Monk wants the outpost, and Lewis gets the conversion. Barles lets it be converted. There'll be some vision for Lewis. It'll let him see the gold at least. So he'll know whether or not Vils are there. Monk esport? I wish. And we'll have Imp on the way for Lewis, so Lewis will be the first one up. But Barles will go for a second castle. And maybe this castle can kill Lewis. I'll place it more forward. Not that forward of a castle. Okay, conversion comes in on the monks. A couple of nice conversions for Barles. And that castle looks like it's going up. I don't think there's anything stopping it. And Lewis still has 2 minutes from Imp. Yeah, monks out of position to deny. It'll be Imp versus Castle Age. And this will probably have to be full on Castle Age for Barles. I don't think he has time to go Imp. Let's see if he does ever. Yeah, probably will be Imp just so he can get trebuchets for dealing with the castle. Okay, the organ guns are in. Killing Vils everywhere. Oh no. And there's the GG from Lewis, and Barles will go up 2-1. Lewis thinking, I can't get this castle up with all those organ guns there, and Barles does it. The double TC aggression from the Portuguese. 22 minutes and he wins. Okay, 25 to 1. Oh, now that is a KD. That is a KD right there. Res collected pretty similar. Slightly faster up for Barles and... Ooh, at the end. Huge uptick. In the villages Lewis had. I mean, in the villages Barles had into Lewis's area. Not a clown. He'll need to learn to clown more if he's going to do well in these tournaments. That's 2 to 1 for Barles, who now is on the brink of winning this version of Midweek Masters. So Barles will win Chicken Arena. And Barles had been picking Rocky Forest as a home map. Oop, what am I doing? There we go. Oh wait. Yeah, I didn't check off the African clearing save right. There we go. I was confused for a moment when I was clicking. And already they're in on Rocky Forest. Inca Georgians. I mean, I messed up earlier on the draft when I clicked. I misclicked maintained until I fixed it. There we go. Alright, so Barles will once more put him in the red, and he is immediately going for a barracks. He's going to go for the super fast drush as the Inca. Lewis will defend that as the Georgians. If he gets to fortified churches, he should be good, but he needs to get there. So Inca Georgians, they're going to want to apply a lot of pressure with the drush. And if they let the Georgians boom peacefully, I think the Georgians win this matchup pretty handily. It's all about the early pressure from Barles here. And Lewis with the Georgians will try to use the fortified churches to force a game number 5. And Lewis will get the TC with the... We'll get the boar with the TC. And Vils here will go out to the wood line for Lewis. Indeed, Georgians versus Inca. What do you prefer here, chat? I think this is Lewis recognizing exactly what Barles wants to do, and he's going to go to a far wood line so he can wall in his Vils. And Barles, if the Drush, Men-at-Arms, Eagles come in, they'll have to hit the berries or the gold or something other than the wood line. Bill's moving up the berries for Lewis. And Barles looking for something to drush, not finding it. He will do some laming though, finding a sheep and a couple of geese to lame. So we'll be hitting Lewis's food supply at least, then can loop back over towards the berries. Yeah, this militia scouting this wood line, he's seeing, okay, he must be on a far wood line somewhere. I'm gonna try to find it with these sheep. He actually will know right where it is. Oh, he could lame another sheep. That could be his 4th sheep being lamed. Yeah, and Lewis was thinking of sending more Vils out here, but Barles at least had gotten some scouting with the sheep, it looks like. And ooh, militia finding the berries, Lewis clicks up to feudal, but his Vils, oh, they're trapped. Lewis can't pathfind out. Lewis complaining to Nilly right now. And he has to delete the mill to run the Vil. Oh, he loses one Vil, loses half HP on another, and has to delete the Vil. You're from Georgia, so you can pretend they dedicated an entire save to your state. Not the country, but the state of Georgia. Ouch. And now Lewis, what does his food income look like? He's got 1 ibex. Remember, all of his herd animals have gotten lamed. He's not even going to have them as an option. Can't run back to the berries now. The militia are still hoovering near there. At least the villas loom. But there's Barles clicking up not too far behind and with a much better economy. A sudden disaster. Yeah, and remember, Barles has at least scouted some palisades there, so he knows where the woodline is. Okay, time to hit the gold, says Barles. The villas out there continue to try to mine despite the militia and eagle pressure. Barles doing whatever he can to save the HP of his units.
Okay.
Being told to get back to work as a Mesoamerican man with a large club ominously walks around you. Oh, remember, Inca are from South America, they're not from Mesoamerica. And that's a Vil going down. Alright, there's a Vil pick. Second Vil loss for Lewis. Lewis has gotten an archer out, though, and you can use the archers to defend against the militia. There is feudal on the way. Let's see, low enough on HP, we probably won't see the man-at-arms upgrade. We'll just have a range, and then maybe skirmishers from Barles. Everything up there going down. And Lewis will keep walling, but remember, you can't wall all the way to the forest. There is rock terrain there. Barles trying to wall up a bit himself too, at least funnel slightly to the edges of the woodline. You can block the mule cart, yes, you could wall with mule carts. That's true. You could plop down a mule cart right there and use it as part of the wall. Now Barles, he pokes down Lewis's scout, and he can come forward with skirms to try to keep pressuring. And looking at the res collected, he is super far ahead. Super duper far ahead. The archer and skirm keep hovering around. Plus spear is still in the back. Wondering where to go. And we'll have a house coming up. A house here for Lewis. Skirm's hitting the Vil. Skirms and archers are wandering around. We'll have a tower going up. Tower for Lewis. Okay, tower on its way up, trying to defend. Barles still investing in feudal. Neither player with a good stockpile of resources, but Barles good. A good 800 plus resources collected advantage. And spears and skirms moving in. Skirms from Lewis giving chase, and Barles might need to stay grouped up. As he'll chase around the side, Lewis needs to keep walling. Will he get this wall up in time? Ooh, he could quickly do a market or blacksmith here. Or a house, but no, he won't get the wall up in time. Vil, he's gonna have to run back to the TC to try to keep him alive. Ooh, the wall not going up. Wall not going up, and now this army will be able to hoover around the back. Now there are enough skirms from Lewis that he can win the fight as the blacksmith comes up, but Barles can be very annoying with this. And Barles selling the stone, buying food. He's getting ready to go up. Might need to buy another round of food, but he's almost there. And then he can just flood eagles. Might be clicking up into an eagle flood against the player going skirms who's stuck in feudal. Lewis isn't that far away from castle himself, but still needs a few hundred more food. There's Barles' uptime. Up way first. And that lumber camp had to be abandoned. Lewis had to come back here, try to use the cover of the watchtower and his army. More skirms from Barles. He might have just gone around the outside. And Barles ready to force this fight. And I'm sure he's happy to trade skirms in feudal now that he's up, and will probably just want to go eagles. And anything he can do to harass Vils, harass Woodline, is good for Barles, as with the better eco, should be able to replace a bit more easily than Lewis can. It's over 1k more resources for Barles. So Lewis clicks up, but about a minute behind. One for fletching. I mean, maybe that helped him take a better fight. Micro these days is so good for players. I don't know if that actually would clear the army, though. Skirm is both going down here, as they'll pick them off. And there's Barles up to castle. Squire is on the way for the eagles. And what does this look like? Double barracks with a monastery. So double barracks eagles. Eagles will keep flooding their way forward. And come right over here to this wood line. Force some vills to garrison. That's 4 Castle Age eagles now. I could use +2 armor, maybe under the tower. That's exactly what we're gonna get. Could use the Eagle Warrior upgrade too. Red Cliffy calling the early GG. As always. I think it's over in favor of Barles. And it's another Vil gonna go down. Down she goes. Defensive fortified church. I guess this is what we always say. Never underestimate the ability of the Georgians not to be pushed. As one fortified church comes up, and all of a sudden the Eagle Flood stops. But 8 Vil lead for Barles, who himself could probably add TCs now. Yep, with the fortified churches on their way up, Barles realizes he can't continue the push right now. Needs to add the TCs, make sure he has an eco lead. Georgians are so tricky to play against. Very tricky indeed. Here's Eagle Warrior, using it to fight the Knights. Right now, Knights still faster. Yeah, he has done some pretty nasty damage so far. And I mean, this wood line is not by the church. Maybe he wants to get eagles on the wood line before Lewis chops enough to get a church there. Enough knights hoovering around. Barles is wary of jumping with eagles, but now with the Eagle Warrior upgrade, maybe he'll go. Still no forging, but he's gonna go. He'll head to the wood line and force a fight. There is one monk, and he will go dive the monk first. And still fight under the tower and under the fortified church. Don't know if that's a great fight for him. The Eagle's now 1.26 speed. Knights no husbandry yet. Eagles, you really want to get your numbers up, so Barles doesn't want to throw too many here. We'll see that Lewis is doing another TC. He still got some scouting if he can pass that way. And he misses it by a tile. Okay, he did miss that. He did miss the TC. He's just going to try to go for Vills on the farms if he can. Gets a couple. And now is up by 13 Vills and will get his third TC added in on the gold. Alright, so Lewis now suffering under these raids from Barles. And Barles is looking to grab a 3-1 victory if he can close out this game and keep flooding the Eagles. Has some monk support now to convert the Knights. Husbandry on the way for Lewis makes the Knights run faster. Get more of a speed bonus against the Eagles. Monk wants a conversion on a Knight. So I have a lumber camp on the wood line. Barles keeps pulling ahead in Vills, up by 15 now. Monks want conversions on the Knights. Knights will try to jump them. But, ooh, one monk goes down, one conversion comes in. No sanctity for the monks yet. No devotion either, though. So maybe a bit of a luck on Lewis's end not to be converted. But sanctity on the way. Insta. Oh, wow, that was the opposite of an insta. And there's a TC, so third TC from Lewis up on that wood line. Could be making out pressured from the middle. Or even from the outside, however Barles wants to push. He'll be doing another barracks, so 1, 2, 3, 4 barracks. And he will be spamming the Eagles, forging on the way, and trying to use the numbers to fight Lewis. He's up 18 to 10. Lewis has fletching, no bodkin. So bodkin is nice for TCs versus Eagles, because they at least do 2 damage then, instead of 1. This is level ground. The Eagles, where are they going to go? They're just going to hoover. Force more idle time on all those Vills. Arson on the way for the Eagles. And Barles could think about destroying buildings with them. 13, I don't think that's enough to go for a TC. They're wandering around trying to idle everything. On the outside, the Knights will come forward for Lewis. Barles has to realize that in garrison. But he should be okay. Vills on the wood line partially go down before the Knights run away. These Egalos keep hoovering in the economy, trying to find the Vills who can't fit in the fortified church. 2 mule carts are garrison, preventing the garrison space from the Vills. I don't think the Eagles can take out a fortified church. They could probably take out a tower. And we'll have a castle drop. I was thinking mangonels on that TC, but no, castle drop from Barles. It'll also cover the middle. And Lewis, does he see it? Lewis doesn't see it. He's none the wiser. Maybe he could tell the deer are running, but that's about it. That's the only clue he'd have. This castle from Barles is coming up red in his face. Barles not able to do counter damage with the knight, or Lewis not able to do counter damage with the knights. Barles gets a few pikes out. And we could even see Kemriuk's now against the Cav. 1 relic for Lewis, but 3 for Barles. As he has not been slouching on relic collection either. Score is still fairly close, but I think that's just because the eco hasn't turned into a push yet. So here's the Inca Castle, and it's F tier, so we'll look away, and we'll just look at the results of the TC dying. You like the Inca Castle on pushable deer. It is. I will say that I prefer it to the Mole Castle. Okay, some pikemen getting cleaned by knights. But oh, we have another castle. We have another Inca castle. I mean, they do have a stone discount, and I guess you can see the discount reflected in the architecture. Eagles want to jump the vills on that castle from Lewis. Barles might have to delete this one and run back. He's committed, though. He's committed to it. Even though Lewis will get his up first. Some knights and pikes in the back will hit the vills. Barles will delete it. He'll delete it and run back a few tiles. Ooh, had very low on HP. Was worried that one volley might hit it. We went to Peru and saw all the cool stone used in their construction. That's pretty cool. There's Imp for Barles. It'll be Imp and then Trebs. Although, to be fair, Lewis is up to Imp too. Maybe you get a second castle in Treb production. There still is a chance that he wins the Treb fight. But he's down 93 to 59 vills. And even as Georgians, I think the Inca are going to have the better economy. Mining camp there for the forward vills. Barles has to be careful that he can repair the castles. This will indeed be a TC that goes down at least. So Lewis will hold on. This is an elimination game, so he'll do what he can to hold on. And Barles will come forward with the Eagles. Go for the TC, maybe. Oh, the TC will go down anyway. He'll go for the vills. I'd love to see him take out that tower. So getting ready for trebuchets. Still a slight advantage for Barles. There's a second castle for Lewis. He'll need that castle in time for the Treb War. And Sminum89, thank you very much for the sub. Time flies, that it does. Thank you very much for the sub. As we have a couple of Manaspas out. Maybe it would behoove Barles to prepare some Kamyuks. Also to buy some wood to make sure he can afford the Trebs. He has ballistics on the way. He's 8 seconds away, and then we'll be going for Trebs. Is it cheaper? Yes, it is. Also cheaper to repair Georgian castles because they're just cheaper to repair. So a couple of night raids coming forward for Lewis, trying to find some damage against Barles, but it's 108 to 66 vills. And third castle at home on the side for Barles, trying to stave off similar raids in the future. Treb is popping out. They'll go for the castles. And once Barles takes out those two castles, should be able to flood with eagles. Knight's still not doing much damage, getting on the wood line. But the vill difference is not going to be evened up all that quickly. And this is a situation where I think Barles is fine with losing his castles. He mostly wants to clean Lewis's castles, and then he can raid with his eagles. He can hoover with the gallows. And there is Elite Eagle Warrior on its way. Elite Eagle Warrior. 2 Trebs, 4 Trebs with another one queued. I'm sure he'd love to get a 5th, and then a 6th. Ooh, he's trying to repair, but not enough repair vills. More repair vills for Lewis, so that's idling a bigger portion of his economy if he's repairing like that. 69 billion res difference. And monks there for the Manaspas. Trebs have to deploy to the next castle. That's a good bit of repairing from Lewis. The Georgian repairers will repair forever. And I think Barles needs to queue more Trebs. You really want to get up to like 6. Castle losing some HP, not enough vills to repair Trebs and to repair the castle. Treb goes down, and Lewis is holding. He's holding in the Treb fight. He's gonna take out another Treb if the repairs don't come in. So Barles not enough repair vills forward, and that's a downside when he hits that such a good vill lead. But here come the elite Eagle Warriors. They don't have their final armor upgrade, but they will take out Trebs. They'll take out a lot of Trebs and even take out repair vills. I'm sure Barles would have liked to have cleaned the castles before diving like this, but he's more than happy to take out, what is that, 5, 6 trebuchets? And with all the Trebs going down, Lewis will call the GG, and Barles will be our Midweek Madness champion this week, winning 3-1 in the finals. And Lewis even the better KD, but sometimes that happens when you're the Eagle Warrior save. The economy difference tells the story. Barles able to manage the push and the TCs, get up to Imp, and be in a position to take out the Trebs with Eagles. And GG, well done for Barles. Lewis had played well right up until the finals. And not that he played poorly, but still well done. For Barles, 3-1. Winning with the Inca against the Georgians. And yeah, these browser sources definitely feel laggy. Maybe if I restart my PC, it'll be better. And loses Rocky Forest, we didn't get to see, not Nomad. Ooh, so, that'll probably be about it for me today. I don't know if Danny's going to do an interview, but I'll just give her a raid. So thank you all for watching, and I'll be back soon. Don't know what's on the program for tomorrow. Maybe some more Masters of, or maybe some Masters of Hyper Random Qualifiers. So I'll end the stream on YouTube. See you guys later, and I'll raid Danny on Twitch. So congrats to Barles.